Coming to you from the studios of STL TV in beautiful Forest Park, it's the best of the STL. On tonight's show, KMOX anchor and reporter Carol Daniels, Hospice of Southern Illinois, heating things up in the kitchen sink. Your entertainment for tonight, High Velocity. And here are your hosts. Please welcome Ivy Hartman and Sarah Bernard.
Hartman.
And I'm Sarah Bernard.
And clearly Cassandra Walker is missing, but we're really happy to have you here, Sarah.
Thank you.
No stranger to hosting.
No stranger to hosting, no stranger to STL TV. I do the STL TV live show on Thursdays, and on the set, which is a fairly new show about theater, film, and television, kind of behind the scenes, in-depth look at it in St. Louis. What's going on?
Right here in St. Louis.
Right here in St. Louis.
Now, I know that you're probably a little more savvy than I am with social media also.
Well, I try to do my best.
No, tonight she goes, I didn't see anything on Facebook yet about the show.
I know. Well, usually I keep up with STL TV on our Facebook page. You know, we hear about what's coming up, who the guests are, and but there was some stuff out there. But it's always a great way to go to get tickets to the show. And
that's a great point. And you can watch the show in a lot of different ways, including online and through YouTube and everything else. And then you can also follow us on Twitter as well. We love keeping you in the know. That's what we're all about here. Isn't that right, LJ?
That is absolutely right, Ivy. You need to come and see what we're doing, because this is the best looking audience in St. Louis, is it not? Pretty paper. Oh, the pretty paper. And you too could be part of the live studio audience here at the Best of the STL. We got free tickets. We want to give them to you, but you got to call us. Give us a call, 314-552-2970. And you too could be a part of our beautiful studio audience, because I'm sitting here with one of my new best friends. Hi, Sue Rauman. How are you?
I am very well, thank you.
Well, wonderful. You are here today representing the Hospice of Southern Illinois, correct?
I am indeed.
And you're the development manager there.
Yes.
What do you guys do exactly?
What hospice does is care for people at the end of their life. If they're diagnosed with a terminal illness in the last 6 months of their life, they can be referred to hospice programs. And then our goal is to help them have a dignified, pain-free, as comfortable a life as possible till they actually die.
Wow.
Living well until you die. That's the
Living
theme.
well until you die. Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of people that come, and I bet it's very difficult for the families that are bringing people into this particular situation. How does that work?
Well, their doctor generally makes the first recommendation, and then they will often call us just to have a consultation with our social workers to explain what hospice care really is about, and that just because you sign up for hospice care does not mean you have to stay in hospice. If there is some new curative measure that comes along, it's not you're not bound to stay with the program, so that we work with the doctors at all times to see the best outcome for that patient. And then our social workers continue to work with the family. Even with the kids, we have a special kids program to help with all the behaviors and kinds of issues that come along with death and dying.
Wow. So you guys have to do a lot of stuff to keep things going, because I'm sure people pay, but there are a lot of things that you all have to do to keep things up and coming. Is that correct?
There is. We're a not-for-profit, and so our history has never been to charge a patient for their care, no matter how much it may cost. We pay for their meds, everything that they may need to be as comfortable as possible. And most of our patients have Medicare benefits or private insurance, but the cost of actual care is far more than what those benefits are. So it's my department that looks for grants and foundation money and donations and special events that help offset those costs so that no patient has to be without care.
So with that special events, you brought someone with you today.
I did, Kathy.
Kathy, my other best friend. So you're the person that makes all of these special event things happen. Is that correct?
I do. I'm the event coordinator for the northern region of Hospice of Southern Illinois.
And as I understand it, you have 2 events that are coming up.
We actually have several, but our large one that's coming up is our big concert for the cause, featuring the Aaron Bodie Group, our own St. Louis homegrown, little jazz like music at the Wine Garden in Belleville on September 19th. And that night we're going to have our drawing for our summer raffle, where we're raffling off an iPad, several $500 gas cards and gift cards, and parties at the Wine Garden as well.
Okay, and there's one more event, the 6th Annual Sporting Clay Shoot. Tell us a little bit about that quickly.
We also have community events besides events that we host on our own. The KCs in Sparta are hosting a sporting clay shoot down at the Sparta Complex, and we also have other events such as the Day of Golf, in which the Gateway PGA hosts several PGA professionals that will play 100 holes of golf in a day as a fundraiser for us, and we'll find out more about them later.
Well, I think you guys got some free tickets that you want to give out, and we've already pre-selected our winner, so let's see who that is.
Tracy DePriest.
Tracy! You heard it. They got great stuff coming up. They get a little bit for Medicare with the patients that are there, but they need your support. Go out, support. Support the events that they have coming up. If they want more information, where can they get that from?
At hospice.org.
Hospice.org. Check us out. Ivy, what you got going on in the kitchen?
All right, Chef Anthony Ellers Jr., he said he's going to put me to work. From the kitchen sink, you're not just the chef, you're the owner, the founder, the creator.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. A little bit of everything.
What does the kitchen sink mean? Where'd the name come from?
Well, in the kitchen world, mostly people always ask you what you put in something.
Yeah.
They say everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
So we want to be a little different. We want to throw the kitchen sink in too.
Yeah, well, I got a little bit of everything here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we've got the Trinity going in.
Yes, ma'am.
And what are we making tonight, Chef?
What we're making right now is the kitchen sink, our version of shrimp and grits.
Oh, the signature dish.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it because it's got a little bit of everything.
You got a little bit of everything, and like everything else, the kitchen sink is a little bit different.
Okay, so talk about where the menu ideas came from for the kitchen sink, the stuff that you've got on the menu.
It just came from wanting to be different. We want to try to have the same thing that everybody else has, but just a little different twist on it.
Yeah.
So that way, if you like what we got, you'll come back here and get it, because we'll be the only place with it.
I'll tell you what, you'll like what they got. As soon as you go online and just check out the menu, what is the website?
Let's eat / at the kitchen sink.
Yeah, let's definitely eat / This is going to be an awesome, and so we've got the grits going. I love shrimp and grits. What is your favorite dish on the menu?
My favorite dish is the 3 Little Pigs.
We'll tell you a little bit more about some of the other things on the menu and maybe what the 3 Little Pigs is when we come back. Just a little tease. I'm looking forward to eating some of this. And we've got to chat it up with Carol Daniel when we come back, so don't touch that dial.
Watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
joining us. I'm really excited, Sarah, because our next guest is a 30-year veteran of broadcasting and has been a staple right here in St. Louis radio and television since she made the move here in 1995.
And she is also an award-winning journalist, and she just released her first book earlier this year.
I'm really excited to hear more about that. So please help us welcome the lovely and very talented Carol Daniel. It's kind of fun to reminisce. I'll
yes,
tell you,
it is.
You and I don't get to see one another very often. But you're no stranger to this set.
At all.
You've been here before.
There was more than one of you on the set when I was here.
She filled in for me, but when Best STL took off, and she kicked off Best STL when I was having one of my first babies.
She was pregnant then. That's why there's more than one of her on the set there.
Not because we've been drinking or anything.
Not because, or we brought in an extra friend that no one knew about.
You are magnificent. I tell you what.
Thank you.
Yes, I think St. Louis is just enamored with you. So how do you keep doing it, Carol?
Well, I often say that if you keep doing it long enough and don't upset too many people, then you're okay. I always keep my mother in mind.
Really?
I do. I still, at 51, I think I don't want to embarrass my mom.
Well, you know, that's actually great.
Yeah.
I like that, and it's good to keep mom in mind and always assume the microphone's on, right?
Absolutely, because it is essentially always on. You must think that all the time when you're on set. So I'm not going to say
for everybody.
anything that might be misinterpreted. I hope.
You do the news on KMOX, and you do entertainment, and now we're adding author to the list.
Yeah, why?
Why,
Ivy? Why? Why?
Let's ask you that question. Why, Carol?
Well, my chair just went down. That's why. Actually, I used to be a columnist for the St. Louis American for 10 years. And as I was writing, and my husband was, thank God, supporting me and reading it, he always said to me, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. And I thought that was a dream of mine.
Yeah.
But who has time?
Right.
You know, you're married, you have kids, you're doing dishes occasionally, so who has time? But the time came. I was at Best Steak, across from the Fox Theater.
Love that place.
My publisher happened to be there as well. She came to me and she said, God told me to publish your book. And my response was, okay. All right.
And you didn't just kind of go, now what?
Well, I knew kind of now what, but I just, you know, when someone comes to you and says, God told me to do this for you, and it's a dream of yours. That's
great. So how did you find the time? You've got the radio full-time career. You've got kids, two busy boys. You did it. How did it come out of sleep or?
It did come out of sleep, and I would go to work early some days, and she would meet me there, and we would write, and then she came to my house, and we would write, and there were a lot of midnight nights, and it was a difficult process, a time-consuming. People who write full-time, God bless you. I would love to write full-time, but I didn't do this that way.
Titled All I Ever Wanted.
Yes.
So the premise, is it really kind of what we're talking about in terms of work-life balance and what women really want? And
well, and I think there's an ongoing debate among women today, because some women, more and more women are saying, you know, I don't ever want to have kids. You know, I don't ever want to get married. And that was not something that we ever thought of as women. For me, at 9 years old, that's my earliest memory of thinking, all I want is to be a wife and a mother. That's where the title comes from. All I ever wanted was to be a wife and a mother. And anything else that I was blessed with was just gravy. It was never about the career. It was always about being a wife and a mother. And maybe that's kind of archaic to say in this day and age,
I
but
think it's coming back. There's a lot. I'm hearing a lot of talk about that, about the value of being a wife and a mother, in addition to everything else we do.
I think what the nation needs most is a good mother and a good father. I mean, you know, great. Be a CEO, start a business, because God knows we need jobs. But it starts at home. And the best thing on my tombstone, it will say, is she was a great mom, she was a great wife.
So speaking of that, you've got the two boys, and then you and Patrick have been married 17 years?
19.
Oh my gosh.
19, baby.
So,
Am I right? Is it 19?
Full time. You're in big trouble.
I know.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
But a good a lot.
Working full time, and then in the media, and then having this work-life balance, that's fine. We've talked about that. But how do you draw that line between your professional life and your personal life? Because you do share a little bit about the boys on the air. And
A lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
One likes it and one does not.
I think sometimes you share and I think, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
one likes it
Let me
and
guess,
one
it's
does
the
not.
16, is he 16 or 17?
He's 17.
17 doesn't like it.
Does not
Yeah.
like it. He's a quiet, he's an introverted guy. My 13-year-old is my entertainer, and he does like it. He introduces himself as my manager.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. So he is fine. He'd be here tonight with us if he could have gotten here. So how do you balance it? Well, I do believe that sharing what I share is always going to help somebody. That's my mindset.
Okay.
But I know my husband, and there's some things that are better left unsaid. He is a private person, so I know what I should say and shouldn't say. And then I also know that, you know, holidays are off limits. I don't commit to do things that, you know, that impact Mother's Day for my mom. You know, Sundays are pretty much off limits unless I'm speaking at a church. And I've learned to say no. And email's awesome. Ladies, say no in email. If they call you and ask you to do something, could you bring some cookies? Email me about that. Because it's easy to say no in the email.
Oh, I love walking away with a little nugget.
That's a nugget, baby.
I'm gonna
That's
hold
a
on
big
to that.
nugget.
It is.
Because it is hard for us to say no, isn't
is.
it? I mean, we want to please everybody.
True.
And that's in our nature. It's in our womb. It really is. That's just who we are. But we have to say no sometimes.
So, Carol, let's talk about your marriage, because your marriage obviously is important to you.
It really is. I
So
mean, it's...
How have you kept it so healthy and strong? And
My husband says that we are in our second marriage in our marriage. Because it was difficult.
So
it
was
was
there a
hard.
transformation?
There was a transformation. There was a gaining of understanding who I was as a wife, who I was as Carol, and who he is as a husband, and who he is as Patrick, and then having to understand, okay, I think I know you now. I understand you now. And then I think most of us come into any given relationship with unrealistic expectations. And so I love that song, You Didn't Bring Me Flowers, You Hardly Talk to Me Anymore, when I come through the door at the end of the day. I was a flowers girl. Well, you know, I buy myself my own flowers.
Thank you.
You know, I buy
Thank
myself
you.
my own flowers. And I've learned he's not a talkative person. I am a talkative person. And I heard somebody say one time, that's what your girlfriends are for. Do not expect your husband to talk 1,000 words to you, because men just don't have that many words.
I
you
think
know?
there's a lot of men that watching this that are loving what you're saying.
Yeah, that's right. That's
There's
right.
one of the cameramen clapping right now.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of people off camera, we have a question from our studio audience for you. Is that okay? Good.
Absolutely.
LJ?
I have Kathy here, and Kathy has a question.
Yes, in your broadcasting career, do you have any advice for someone coming up in your footsteps?
Oh, that's a great question. A college degree is good. It really is good. And I can't tell you how many people have called, and sometimes mothers have called when their kids are seniors and say, my son is a senior, they're graduating in May. You know, can you help us out? That's not the time to call. The internship is everything in this industry. Get the internship, get the hands-on. I always say you should come out with your degree with a resume. So you should be working in the business, and be realistic. Be realistic about it. I mean, don't think you're going to make $1 million. You are not the next Katie Couric necessarily, but decide, do you want to be behind the camera? Do you want to be in sales? There are a lot of jobs. You don't have to be on the camera. Check your ego at the door.
Right.
What's been your favorite thing so far in the 30 years you've been in St. Louis and running the game?
Okay, 2 quick things. Interviewing Patti LaBelle, who I've never seen perform. And we thought she was going to be late. Her plane was late. There was a storm. I could hear these shoes running down the hall. Meeting her was absolutely wonderful. And then being able to spend weekly conversations with the late, great Jack Buck, who used to come into the studio with a yellow legal pad when he started writing his poetry, because he began writing poetry very late in his life. And he would come in with it handwritten, and sometimes he'd hand it to me and say, read this. And I'm like, okay. Of course it's awesome, Jack. I mean, you know, what do you say to Jack Book?
Maybe the next one?
I think there's a photo of him in the book, yes.
So, Carol, if our viewers want to connect
great.
with you, you're
Absolutely.
on social media?
I am on Facebook. I am on Twitter. I am at KMOX.com. The book is on Amazon.
Perfect. Oh, good.
I'm like you. I'm trying to be like you in terms of social media.
I'm trying to be like me, too. It's hard. It's hard to keep up.
When I grow
Isn't that what Facebook is all about? Liking.
Right.
Thank you so much, Carol. We had a great
you.
time. We've got lots more fun planned for you here on Best of the STL. And I think part of that includes some awesome music, right, LJ?
Absolutely. They are jamming through the walls. Give it up for High Velocity.
You won't find them drinking at the table, rolling dice or staying out to 3. You won't ever find them be unfaithful. You will find him, you'll find him next to me. You won't ever find him chase the devil for money, fame, for power, out for grief. You won't ever find him where the rest go. You will find him, you'll find him next to me. Next to me. Ooh, next to me. Ooh, next to me. Ooh, you will find him, you'll find him next to me. When the money's spent and all my friends have vanished, I can't seem to find no hope and love for free. When the penny's spent and all my friends have vanished, you will find him, you'll find him next to me. When the skies are blue and all the doors are closing, and the pressure makes it hard for me to breathe, you won't ever find him where the rest go. You will find him, you'll find him next to me. Next to me. Ooh, next to me. Ooh, next to me. Ooh, you will find him, you'll find him next to me. When the money's spent and all my friends have vanished, I can't seem to find a hope and love for free. I know there's no need for me to panic. I will find him, I'll find him next to me. When the skies are gray and all the doors are closing, and the pressure makes it hard for me to breathe, all I need is a hand to stop the tears from falling. I will find him, I'll find him next to me. Next to me. Ooh, next to me. Ooh, next to me. Ooh, I will find him, I'll find him next to me.
Next to me, they are jamming. If you want more information about High Velocity, check them out at SeanHolland.net. Ivy, what you cooking in the kitchen, girl?
Hey there. So anyway, thanks, LJ. Okay. Earlier, we pulled a name, and because we're here cooking, and I like to cook, one of the places I like to get some of my groceries is at Sam's Club. And so we have a $35 Sam's Club card that we give away on our show. And this $35 Sam's Club card is going to Bailey DePriest. Congratulations, Bailey. Use it wisely. Congratulations. All right. Anthony, back to our kitchen sink recipe.
Yes, ma'am.
We put in there, recap what we put in there.
So far we put in andouille sausage, tasso ham, some shrimp, and the Trinity, which is peppers, onions.
And yeah, peppers and onions. All right, and then we're gonna top it, and we're gonna put grits first.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Show me how the magic works.
Yeah, I don't know how much magic it is, but we're gonna try it out.
Now, where are you guys, where is the kitchen sink located currently?
Currently, we're right next to the Forest Park Metrolink, in between Persian and Union on Developer.
That's a nice location.
Yes, ma'am. It's not bad at all. A lot of WashU kids and SLU kids go by.
And we've got some photos of some of the dishes in the restaurant itself, so that we can kind of see what the atmosphere. It's a nice casual atmosphere there, where you've got a lot of great food, and now you're going to be moving?
Yes, ma'am. We'll
Okay.
be moving down the street to a bigger location.
Okay.
Well, right now we don't have alcohol, but there we will have alcohol.
Oh, because that's just what the shrimp and grits needs, or some of these other dishes we're seeing. I hear about the crab cake Benny. What is that?
It's like a unique take on, I guess, a breakfast dish. We make our own, yes, ma'am. We make our own crab cakes, and then we put flash fried spinach on top of it, poach your egg, and put a little sauce on it, and send it out the door.
This almost looks like, so what days are you open?
We're open every day but Sunday right now.
All right, so is it all lunch and dinner stuff, or did I see a little bit of French toast
Yes,
in
ma'am.
there?
Yes, ma'am. We serve our
wow.
whole menu all day. Breakfast is my favorite food, so we try to serve it all day for everybody.
And I am loving, I'm getting ready. Okay, so we get to taste some of this.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you told us your favorite thing was the 3 little pigs.
3 little pigs.
What is that?
It's 3 different types of pork. It's ground andouille, ground Italian sausage, and then pancetta.
And that's
it
it?
up. Yes, ma'am. We grind it all together, blacken it, cook it, and then put some cheese on it, a secret sauce. And then hopefully it goes in your belly.
All right, friends. This is St. Louis Creole food. This
Yes,
is
ma'am.
all Anthony Ellerson's creation, and so we love it. At the kitchen sink, you can find more information online. You can also call them at 314-261-4455. Currently, they're on Devolver Boulevard. Follow them, and so that you can find out more about their new location. You won't want to miss it. Every day but Sunday, you can get everything they serve. And are you sure that's not going to be too hot to eat?
It might burn you a little bit.
Hey,
It'll be
LJ
okay.
looks a little worried. She's like, "Whew, I don't know, I'll blow on it a little bit." Thank you so much, Chef, for being here with us. We certainly had a great time with all of our guests, including Carol Daniel, as well as the Hospice of Southern Illinois.
And we'd like to thank our great sponsors and our great audience members as well.
And last but certainly not least, let's give it up one more time for High Velocity. Take us out of here.
Happened the moment that you were revealed. You were a dream that you should not have been. Fantasy real. You gave me this feeling, baby. This feeling inside. Made me feel good and feel nice and feel love. Gave me paradise. Shouldn't I realize? Oh, shouldn't I realize? You're the highest of the high. That you're the highest of the high. If you don't know, then I'll say it. So don't ever wonder.